Now I do have the fan blowing on me because we're awesome and don't have AC. So if you hear a bunch of static, let me know. I can easily turn it off. I don't want to be a distraction.
Same for me.
All right. So who would like to offer the opening prayer?
I can do it.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'll go for it. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day. We're grateful for this opportunity we have to meet as a group and to learn about how to negotiate. And we ask that thy spirit can be here with us. And please help us to learn from one another and to be able to enjoy this last group meeting that we get to have. In the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, that's true. This is the last meeting, isn't it?
Yep. This is probably the last time that each of us will be working together as a group the rest of our lives.
That's pretty epic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear
Okay.
Sally.
Just making sure. Because last time I was having a hard time.
All right. So
Have you guys looked at the final at all?
No, I haven't looked at it at all. I know it has to deal with this it's like an extension of this week, isn't it?
No, it's about Kate Spade.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's all about finding the valuation of it and the offers, and
doesn't look too bad, right?
Yeah, I think I'm almost halfway done.
Wow. I don't have time for that yet. I'm doing that next week.
No way, Jose. I gotta be done by Monday.
I'm too busy.
Yeah, I'm hoping to knock out the rest of my stuff this weekend. That way I can have a week off before summer semester starts.
I'm taking summer semester too.
Woo.
Can't wait.
Okay. Kelly, you leading this negotiation?
Yeah, so to be honest, I don't fully know exactly. I mean, we were trying to find some kind of
rubric.
Yes, thank you, rubric. Thank you, Andrew. For the assignment, I don't think it's necessarily. It's more like a banter back and forth. Cost. And like we're some kind of auctioneer, and we eventually come to a price, and it's like sold. I think it's just more or less, there needs to be one side that represents Keurig, one side that represents Green Mountain, and what everybody thinks would be a reasonable and fair price all around. What for Dalen and Richard and Sally? What did you guys get when you guys did this assignment?
Well, aren't we supposed to negotiate about this? And you guys are the people that we're negotiating with? Or did I get that wrong?
I think we're supposed to negotiate, but I don't think it's supposed to be a full-on formal one. I think it's more of a, like, Keurig can represent their side and say, here's what we're thinking for pricing or for, negotiations for contracts. And then you guys can represent Green Mountain and say your spiel too, and just see how we came up with the numbers we came up with. That's my understanding. I don't know though.
Yeah, bring it on, Sally.
What's that?
I vote for Green Mountain, our representative.
I did not hear anything. Everyone was talking about
I didn't understand anything either.
Oh, I said I nominate Dalen to be our rep for Green Mountain.
Same. He's a smart one.
What is with people throwing me under the bus today?
That's right. That's what you get for not helping Richard.
I guess that's what I get. All right.
All right, give me just a sec.
So Kelly, what do you want? What do you want us to do? Do you want us to propose our thoughts to you?
Well, we'll go ahead and propose our side of it. I had to turn off my fan because some of you guys I can barely hear. So we'll propose our side, just numbers that we came up with. Like I said, I'm not fully sure exactly where we're supposed to go with this assignment overall, but like for us, we were thinking an overall price for the customer, for like an office manager. They should be purchasing each of these cups at like 50 cents a piece. That way, Keurig can or Green Mountain can get their piece of the pie. The distributor can get a piece of theirs, and with every sale of a Keurig, the Keurig can promote and represent Green Mountain as well. So we can get a little piece of that pie as well of selling each cup. What do you guys think would be what do you guys have in mind for a selling price for each of the cups on your end?
Hold up.
Do you have our spreadsheet pulled up, Dylan?
Yeah. Did it have our selling price in it though? Oh yeah, it did. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna create a. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. Kind of talk to you what we saw. How do I get a link to this? Kelly, can you email a link?
Yep, let me grab it real quick.
I'm gonna have to show you on my computer. I'm talking to you on my phone.
I gotcha.
So
just
there's
set
a way.
it up now. All right, just sent it.
Cool. Cool. Awesome. All right, you're going to see two of me. Pick on the one that's better looking. Just kidding. The one that's going to be blank.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll take the one that's black.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So you guys will click on it. All right, so we pretty much had two options with you guys. Like we can either pay your royalties or we can buy in some equity, right? Those are our two options. Did we understand that right?
Yeah, and that's where we were going with our side of it as well.
Okay, cool. So we looked over our financials. I'm going to be open with you guys. We don't have the money to buy any equity. We honestly like buying into you guys isn't very likely unless we can get a pretty good deal with you. But let's talk about like paying royalties. And yes, absolutely we'd want to be exclusive with you. I get that that's probably not a reality for you guys. You guys are like, why should we only have one channel? So let's just talk about how much royalties. So if you guys kind of look at the spreadsheet, revenue per cup, we plan on selling those at 25 cents a cup. Okay.
To the distributor, right?
To the distributor, right?
Okay.
Our variable cost per cup, I think there's 2 cents that are indirect and there's 12 cents that are direct. They end up being 14 cents.
Okay.
Royalty, I'll come back to that. The yellow ones are the ones I want to be adjusted based off our conversation. So you can kind of see our margin here if we subtract out those. I figured what our fixed costs would have to be, and our depreciation, because our initial investment divided by depreciation to how many times we have to spend $700,000 again to keep working with you. Our break even in cups is given right here on C15. We need to sell 1.7 million cups a year to break even. So that's what we got to have. Working capital is kind of confusing in this. It's like 10% of something. I don't know. I'd have to go look at the case, but I factored it in there somehow. So our real break even is like 1.9 if you count working capital. What we need to know is what your forecast is. How either in annual sales. If we like partner with you guys, we're going to pay you a royalty. Do you guys have any forecast? I don't know what was in your case, and either the amount of cups we'll be able to sell or the amount in dollars that we'll be able to like have. If I know one of those numbers, then we can talk about how much royalty we'd be willing to pay you per cup to make sure that we can break even and still make a profit. Because that's what everything hinges on. Like if you guys, I'll show you through like the spreadsheet. If you guys forecast that we will sell 2 million in cups, right? And I only need 1.9 million to break even, but you said you'll sell 2 million. You can follow me over to the income statement. That's 500 million, in revenue. And there's our variable costs. There's a royalty we pay you. We pay you $60,000 in royalties, our margins, our fixed costs that we have, our working capital, and our net income ends up being $6,000 for the year. So if you can give us some idea, either in the amount of cups or in the amount of revenue, and I can adjust that to the amount of cups we need to know how much we'd be willing to pay you in royalty. Based off of like these numbers, if you're barely higher than what we need for break even, I'll pay you 3 cents a cup in royalty. If you have a much higher forecast, obviously, then we can pay you a higher royalty.
No problem. I'm trying to do some quick math on Excel real quick.
Yeah, there's some good questions, Dalen. I don't think we necessarily have a forecast number. As far as revenue goes, we do have a few options outside of Green Mountain. Definitely, yeah, like agree with what you're saying. Not really wanting to go exclusive with you, but there is the True North plan that was talked about in the case. Talking with them, it looks like ultimately, if we sell with True North, let's see, our revenue would be greater than if we were earning royalties. And that's what it says in our case. But I don't know if Kelly, did you see kind of a forecast or a revenue amount for the next year?
I didn't, but like I said, I'm trying to work on some calculations super fast, make sure I can explain this better, and then hopefully have better numbers to work with too. May not be necessarily a forecast on how many cups, but maybe a forecast on how many machines that we think is reasonable to sell. So if you guys are to break even, is going to be 2 million cups, and if each day there's an average of 43 cups per day, right? And then if you take that into account that in a month there's roughly about 20 actual working days because there's several weekends in there. So if you just take the average of say 20 days times those 43 cups, then each month that's roughly about here 20. Oh, I did that wrong. 20. That's going to be about 860 cups a month from just one machine at one business. So if you take and you take that into consideration, times that by 12 with how many months there are, then you're looking at one machine can suffice over 10,000 cups, and that's just in 1 year for one machine. So basically, you're looking at roughly about 200 machines. Is that right? 200 or 2,000?
I think you're right with 200. Yeah, 200.
So to sell 200 machines in a year, I think would easily be reasonable. I think for forecasting purposes, I don't see why 200 machines couldn't be sold, because our salespeople would also go out and try to get something where for example, Chase Bank. I mean, we might try to get a contract with them to put one in every single one of their break rooms in every single one of their branches. And how many thousands of branches do they have? So that there's going to be some kind of contracts out there that are going to be able to suffice getting that many machines. Therefore, a forecast of 2 million for or 1.925 for break even should easily be accomplished, I would think, in the real world.
But that we got to remember, that is if we sell exclusively
Right.
Green Mountain cups in those branches.
That is correct too. Yep, because there's still True, and there's True North, and there's there's going to be other competitors as well, just like there's going to be other competitors of Flavia or one of the other two that we're trying to create something that weren't quite as proficient or as clean as Keurig.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like you guys are mainly based out of Minnesota in that area. Like, how big is kind of your reach, would you say?
That's all you, Richard. Help us out. How big is our reach?
We are, hold on just a second. No, we're not in Minnesota, we're in Massachusetts. But we have, so we've gotten a contract with Dunkin' Donuts, and which is they're a Massachusetts-based company, but they have over 4,700 stores. And so they agreed to purchase 2 prototype brewers, and our system would allow the company to offer a variety of premium coffees that would be brewed in a single machine. And the Dunkin' Donuts like this because they don't have to wash the machine out to get the flavors out from a previously brewed coffee. They can just use our single packs and get different flavors pretty easily. So that is going to be a national contract. And then there's, hold on. So basically we're really focusing on the office coffee service distributor segment, which is approximately 1,700 small regionally focused offices. So no, we're not just like one in a little area. We're focusing on like the eastern states, but then there's also there'll be a reach nationally, especially if you like Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm. Dalen, can you pull that spreadsheet back up?
Yeah. So I got a question for you. Andrew, you said that if you guys went with True North, that it'd be more profitable for you. That's what your case said?
Well, it kind of said both, honestly. Let me see. Let me search real fast.
Yeah,
So
I want to see your thoughts on that.
Says cost per cup would probably be higher and total revenue would probably be lower under the True North plan compared to cost and revenues for roasters under the licensing plan. So that's what it says early on in the case. But then later on, our venture capitalists are favoring the True North plan because of the exit evaluation would be based on a multiple of revenue. Courage revenue from selling True North K-Cups would almost certainly be greater than the royalties it would earn from licensing. That's what it says in our case. So what's your question?
Why do you make more money exactly? Because you have multiple revenue lines versus like licensing?
I think so.
Okay. So when
Well,
like
you're gonna have,
go for it.
Oh, I'm looking over the exhibits, and so if you guys go with us and receive royalties, the costs of setting up a packaging line and all that stuff that's on us. That's not an expense that you're going to incur. But then also, like if you go with True North, you're going to have to set up a packaging line, which is $700,000 cost, and you're also going to have to develop an order processing and fulfillment capability, which is a $300,000 investment as well. And then your order processing and fulfillment costs are going to be 6 cents a cup, whereas with us, they're going to
Ours
be
is
less.
2 cents.
Yeah, ours is 2 cents a cup, and then our direct costs are 12 cents a cup, and yours would be 13 cents a cup.
So yeah, we can do it cheaper than the True North plan, variable cost wise, and we cover the fixed costs where they don't. And so if you go with them, you look at the variable costs. The variable costs alone are 19 cents a cup. Ours, if you look at our spreadsheet, ours are 14 cents. So I'll tell you what, I'd be willing to pay you 5 cents, the difference in royalties. We cover the fixed costs. We can do it cheaper and we can make our variable costs the same as if, they were doing it, right? We can adjust the revenue for what we're able to sell the cups for. We could do it for 25 cents. We could do it for 50 cents. One thing that Richard said is I think our forecasted numbers are going to be quite high. Just with the deal we have with Dunkin' Donuts alone is how many stores, Richard? Did you say 4,700? Do they have?
Yeah, it's 4,700.
So if we get that deal and they like your product and we were able to just go with that just by itself, Kelly, remind me again, how many cups can we expect per month? It's 800,
In
860, right?
yeah, in a month is 860 per month.
So I times that by our stores and I make that my forecast now. Whoop. It's 4 million cups. And then we could check out how much we pay you in royalties on that.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like we are going to pay you 202,000 just based off of these numbers.
And
What
that's
are they going to pay you? And you have no fixed costs and no variable costs. We just simply pay you that. We just license through you to be able to do that. And that's just with our one deal with Dunkin' Donuts. We make revenue of over $1 billion. You guys get a royalty of 202,000 and we have net income of 88,000. If we pay you a royalty of 5 cents. So you could try to do it with True North and have variable expenses of 19 cents, or we can do it at 14 cents and pay you the 5 cents difference in royalties and cover all the initial investment and fixed costs.
Okay, and so this is based on a royalty. Assuming you're paying it 25 cents to your distributor.
Right. They're paying us, right?
Yeah.
They're paying us 25 cents.
You're charging them 25 cents per cup. We get a royalty of 5 cents. Could we say that we have a 20% royalty? That way, if you do increase your revenue, that we could also partake.
Sure. I'm fine with that. I'm fine if we make this simply, we do 20%, whatever that the revenue is going to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if for whatever reason, we're just better performing and people are now willing to pay 35 cents a cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go up to 7. Your income goes up, right?
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
We go to 50 cents, right?
10%.
That should be working right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You go to
that's 10%.
404. So then you're just directly tied to whatever our revenue is per cup. You get 20% of that revenue.
Okay.
I think our cost structure would allow that. I think that we can do it better than True North. We can do it at a lower cost structure than they can. And it's better for you because we cover all the fixed costs and we'll take care of that.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be more profitable. I think the best option for both of us is if you license with us and we pay your revenue or pay your royalty, and we could do 20% of revenue. Unless, Sally, do you have any disagreement there, or Richard? Any thoughts there? Maybe something I'm not seeing?
Well, I also think that one advantage as well is that because we have experience, coffee roasting is our expertise. We've already been selling it through specialty stores, and we have an extensive distributor network. So the full responsibility of order processing and fulfillment for the K-Cup cells would be entirely upon us. So Keurig would not have to increase, because if they're going to do this deal with True North, they're going to have to increase their staff, they're going to have to increase their overhead, they're going to have to increase they're going to have to increase their capacity to be able to fulfill this. So, I think
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of like your expertise where you guys are excelling, and so we excel in the roasting and distributing business. So I think the two together would be a good mix because you could focus on what's important, what's most important in your business. We could focus on what's most important in ours, and it'd be profitable for both of us.
Yeah, I think going into it, we had agreed that, like I think we're on the same page that you guys pay for the packaging lines. We're not doing the exclusivity. It looks like we're going with royalties over equity. And I feel good about the 20% royalties. Kelly, how do you feel about that?
No, I do too. And the hard part about the case study is the fact too that even though it talks about True North and that, it doesn't, it says like in the end it's more profitable, but it never provided numbers to back it up for facts. In my opinion, not enough evidence to just say, oh well, it's going to be more beneficial. Trust me. And that's not enough for me. I got to see the numbers, and I think Galen provided that pretty well.
Yeah. And that's a great spreadsheet, Galen, that really shows it.
Question is anybody typing anything up on the group homework assignment? Yeah, I got a question about that too, because isn't it the exact same questions for a personal assignment as well?
It is.
It looks like
Aren't they the exact same questions?
that's a group discussion. The group homework assignment is simply develop a list of key items you need to prepare for a tough negotiation. As a group, compose your responses in a Word document and submit a write-up to your instructor. I don't know what that means. Someone help me out.
So I don't know if it's necessarily what we discussed tonight. I think it's how we discuss it tonight.
And then we're graded as the decision/response would get approved or funded based on the support provided without significant questions or concerns. I don't know. Maybe it is this. That probably is what it is. It's probably these questions.
Do a write-up. We do. So in your confidential information thing, it says you must either reach an agreement in a single motion or entirely abandon the idea. And your agreement should take the form of a short memorandum of understanding, an MOU, if you jointly draft outlining specific
No, it's fine. I am in a group meeting though, so I'll be talking. No, you're good. Thank you.
No, I lost where I was.
Sorry, I thought I was on mute, so I was talking to you.
No worries. But yeah, we do have like a small page writing. You must agree to the MOU for a deal to be valid. And then if we don't agree, the Keurig team writes a paragraph about our next steps, and then you guys write a paragraph about why it didn't work. Did you guys see that?
What are you looking at?
Look at your confidential case information.
Okay.
So before it actually goes into your Green Mountain stuff, it says Keurig confidential information for negotiation. Then it kind of gives a backstory on what it is, and then when we reach an agreement, we write a short memorandum with specific bullet points for the deal terms. Do you see that?
Wait, hold on, I'm trying to find my. Okay, hold on. All right.
No worries.
I
I think it's in the original email that for the broker sent last week.
Okay, so I have the email. The only one I have is the one that gives us. Oh, wait a minute. I think there's an attachment. Hold on.
Yeah, Dalen, you're on it there. I think it's the third paragraph there.
Okay, an agreement.
So that's the Word document that
Okay.
I think.
Sally, can you send us out a Word document?
Wait, what? I was writing.
Where are you writing? Is there a Word? Did you make a Word document for this?
Yes, I sent it to you guys. Well, I just sent out the one that says to develop a list of key items to prepare a tough negotiation, because that's what I saw that was due on Saturday. Is that not what it is?
No, I don't.
Hold
Seems like I think what we turn in is the deals that we just talked about with them. It's our negotiation. Like, what's the terms and condition? We get the licensing. We get them. We pay them 20% revenue, right? Of royalties.
Right.
This is so stupid.
Okay. So all we need to do is write up our memorandum, right? And we can attach our the worksheet that you did, Dalen, with the numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. And then the breakdown of the cost is bullet points, just to help outline what the spreadsheet says.
Yeah. So this should be pretty simple to do. We could probably just get it done now and turn it in, right?
Exactly.
I'm all over that.
And then me and Andrew were discussing this earlier as well. So did everybody else get an F on their thing?
Yes, usual.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
I emailed him about it, and Sally, I think she did too. He
Right.
just said we could just turn it in today.
Right. Exactly. So if we can knock this out, and then we each knock out our own, personal assignment, so to speak, then A, we're done for the week, and B, everything should be fine. Should be.
Options. So now, do we have the document or the memorandum that we're working on? What are we working on?
Yeah.
Join the club, Richard. We're all over here working on it. It's the document that Sally sent us.
Okay, I saw that one, but I thought it was different.
Well, now she changed it.
No. I'm labeling this. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I'm on there now. There we go. Okay, I'm there. Do you see me now?
Richard, how do you pronounce your last name?
Babino.
Okay.
It's easier than it looks.
want to try calling him again? Okay, sounds good. Even if it's just you and I, we should still have it. And then we'll text them and be like, you missed out. Just kidding.
So do we need to like actually write up something of like kind of like what we went over, like, you know, after our negotiation, we, you know, concluded that because Keurig has the technology, that's their focus and specialty, and we have, you know, our specialty is distribution and order fulfillment. Like, we're gonna tap into the best of both worlds, and this is what we come up with. Or do you want me to do like a paragraph like that or something?
Well, I mean, I'm just.
Or are you just gonna do the bullet point?
Well, did we ever disagree on something?
No, we didn't actually.
And we can use some of the points that Garrett put in his Word document as well.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, keys in negotiation would be rate on return of investment, royalty pricing, cost per cup, any stipulations such as roasters bought and cake sold, and number of agreements with different coffee companies. So I think we went over most of those. And we had a rough estimate of the rate of return. I think it'd be a good idea to include that spreadsheet that Dalen made.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I was just saying that I think Garrett even offered to turn it in, but we should include, if Dalen, you could upload that spreadsheet into our email chain.
I'm gonna check to see what he's.
You got it coming up.
If we've got it completed as a group tonight, I mean, I don't know if we want to get Garrett's input on it before we submit it or not, or I mean, I was gonna say we could just submit it if we wanted to, or I don't know if you all are up with that, but whatever.
And then never talk to each other again.
That works for me. Just kidding. I'm looking at what he's.
Wow.
What? I'm just being real. I'm just kidding.
Wow, I feel the love tonight.
Sorry, I'm grumpy. I've been doing homework all day.
We're getting good at doing these documents together, though.
Darn. We had a good group. I think we've had a good group.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised that 6 of us got together from different places in the country to make this work. Whereas I've been in other classes where there's been 3 of us, and I can't get one or another person to even be on at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could hear your fan. It sounds like a helicopter taking off.
It wasn't mine. I turned mine off.
Probably mine.
I was gonna say I'll blame it on Andrew.
Sounds like an ultralight flying over.
Yeah, dude, these apartments, they don't give you any air conditioning for the 2 weeks of the year you need it.
Are we all still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sam.
Person total.
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you guys want me to do? I'm just.
Yeah. Well, what else needs to get done? I'm kind of looking over what Garrett said and seeing if anything needs to be like transcribed.
So are we going to want to have Garrett turn it in, or are one of us going to want to turn it in since he's got to pick up his friend and stuff?
I can turn it in when I submit the link, so that'll be fine.
Okay. So what are we missing? I can jump in here and do whatever you need me to do.
What? So we didn't need to include anything about like the group discussion, like the. Did anybody figure out what Zupa is?
Soup.
That's it. We're supposed to sell soup, not coffee.
Yeah, through the dispenser.
Whatever. That's like soup. That's like soup in Italian. So I don't know. Anyway, so I do have a question though about the prep because I don't know. It's a little confusing.
About the what?
The prep analysis that we were supposed to do, but we couldn't really turn it in until we had our discussion. And I think part of it, did we talk about like how much the Green Mountain whatever walked away with, and then the other, the Keurig, like how much it walked away with, and how we got those values? Because it's not necessarily. Actually, never mind.
Yeah, those are good questions. Where's Keurig's walkaway? I think Keurig's walkaway is a 20% royalty on each cup, based on the roaster to distributor cost. As far as Green Mountain's walkaway, I mean, hopefully we're selling at least a minimum of 200 brewers per year.
Well, but in the case study too, it talked about how Keurig had also provided, 2 prototypes or sold 2 prototypes to the, Dunkin' Donuts locations. If there's 4,700 of those and there's 2 for each one, then yeah, I say we hit our mark.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too is that 43 cups per day was for office use, not for a coffee specific store such as um, Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts probably sells 43 in an hour, let alone a company, some kind of administration office having 43 in a day. So there's definitely money in the market for everybody all around. I think the aliens are trying to communicate.
Oh, I looked it up, and the soup is actually, it's like a fast food restaurant where they have soup, salads, and it's called a cafe. I am assuming they used to sell that there.
I think as far as the case goes, I think Zupa, I think it's a typo, and it's actually supposed to say ZOPA, which is an acronym for Zone of Possible Agreement, ZOPA.
Oh, that sounds more like it.
And I'm all like looking it up. I'm like, it's a restaurant.
I've actually been there. They have them here. They're really good. Cafe Zupas.
Never
Make
heard
really
of
salads.
it. Well,
I don't know if it makes more sense for a negotiation.
how big of a deal is exclusive to both parties?
No big deal is exclusivity. I have no idea.
Have you captured a complete picture of both parties' interests? What? Like this.
It says, I'm gonna look it up. SOPA. So to determine whether there is positive bargaining zone, each party must understand their bottom line or worst case price. For example, Paul is selling his car and refuses to sell it for less than $5,000, his worst case price. Sarah is interested and negotiates with Paul. If she offers him anything higher than $5,000, there is a positive bargaining zone. If she is more than $4,500, there is a negative bargaining zone. A ZOPA exists if there is an overlap between each party's reservation price or bottom line. A negative bargaining zone is where there is no overlap. With a negative bargaining zone, both parties may and should walk away.
Sorry, I missed that, Richard. Recap for me. Was that Zupa?
No, it's ZOPA. ZOPA.
Same thing. Probably. I hope.
Zone of possible agreement. It's just basically saying if there has to be an overlap of interests and value for both parties for an agreement zone to exist. Okay.
I'll be back. Not that I won't notice, but just so you guys know.
Okay, do we feel pretty good about our assignment? Because it really doesn't ask for much, like a list of what we need to prepare for, and then specific deal terms. And I feel like we have that.
Hang on.
Yep, somebody's timer's going off.
Means meeting's over.
Are we all on the same spreadsheet or on the same doc right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't see you on here, Andrew.
How about now?
Oh, no, there you are.
Yeah, I accidentally closed out of it like 2 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. I just don't want you to be typing on the wrong one.
No,
Am I typing on the right one?
You're here, Richard.
Okay. Because I just typed this second paragraph here about the Green Mountain will be responsible for order processing and fulfillment. Cells. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Do we need that second point where it says to compose a response on a document? I think it's
Which one?
just like number 2 where it says as a group, just type your responses. I don't feel like we need it in the middle of the paper.
No, we could probably just get rid of that.
Okay.
Okay, what else do we need to put on here, guys?
I mean, coming from what it asks for, that looks great. And really, I don't think they're hard graders.
Okay. So we feel good about what was doing.
What did you say?
We feel good about what we got so far. I'm going to include submission, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty solid.
What do we feel like we're doing for tonight, or what do you guys feel like?
Yeah, I think Kelly said he'd turn it in with the meeting link. Do we mention at all about the spreadsheet in the assignment?
I think the spreadsheet would be really good because it's really good evidence of why we reached an agreement.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in as an exhibit.
Okay.
That works.
That's great.
Probably
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, under deal terms, I put a C spreadsheet, and if you change it to an exhibit, would you just do exhibit 1, Kelly?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll just put C exhibit 1.
Okay.
Nice. All right, we're cool, guys. Been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah, I'm not really sure. So wait, Andrew, what did you say soup bias? What do you think it was? What they misspelled or whatever?
I think it's ZOPA instead of ZOPA, because ZOPA is an acronym for Zone of Possible Agreement, which is a business term when you go with negotiations.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's a zone of what?
Possible agreement. So zone of possible agreement. So hey, I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
It sounds like a didgeridoo in the background. That's what it sounds like.
My phone.
I don't know what it is. If it's your fan, yeah.
It is your fan, but it does sound like a didgeridoo.
The sweet, soothing sounds of revolution. Which is a reggae band for those of you who don't know.
All right. Well, is there anything else that we need to do? Because I'm gonna get kicked out of the building soon. I have to go.
Good to me.
Yeah, I think we're good, guys.
Okay, and then Kelly's going to submit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it tonight.
Awesome.
Right,
Great job.
Well, everybody, best of luck on your future ventures, and hopefully our paths will cross again.
Yeah.
It'd be
It was
cool.
nice to work with all of you. I mean it.
Did
The only
anyone
other-
understand about participation grades? Are we supposed to email the teacher what our classmates did and what we did?
No, I think last time he just graded it based on like what he saw from our
That
like
guy
the
does
videos.
watch the videos.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Give him
I
some
think he
credit.
graded it off of that because we didn't submit anything last night, and I got my grade from that, and he made comments. So.
Do you guys remember that one time that I actually said something negative about the teacher? I was like bashing on him. I don't know, I wasn't bashing on him, but I said something, right? I don't remember what I said. But he like emailed me. I'm like, man, that guy watches the videos. He emailed me, so
Did
he
he?
still
Actually,
watches them. To
I
my
have a
knowledge.
question.
Yeah.
Did he ever email any of you to ask you if we were getting along or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wondering.
Yeah, I got that email.
Yeah,
I thought it was a result because of, well, he said that, but he was also like, is everything okay? How are things going? I was like, oh no. I mean, I didn't bash on him. I think what I said was, he posts things besides all the Holland quotes. And then he emailed me like the next day. And I was like, I was kidding. I'm sorry.
It's funny.
Uh,
So again. All right. Well,
Does it still let us turn in the prep assignment?
yeah, because
yeah, I just have to email him to remind him. I've done that like 3 times. Because he just yams.
Yeah, those 5 points make a difference.
For me, it does. I forgot to submit one of the case-based studies thing one time. Dropped my
Oh
grade off.
no. Well, that's a big chunk.
Uh-huh. That's why I keep an eye on every point that I can. Or,
Got to put in every point I can so that way if I don't do it on the final, it'll be okay.
all right, guys. It was a pleasure. I have to go.
Hey, have a good night.
Good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
Hey, take care, everybody.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Hey. Bye.
Bye.